Have you ever felt a deep unease, a constant ache in your heart, even when nothing seems wrong on the surface? This isn't just pain from life's challenges. It's often something more, a burden we unknowingly carry within ourselves. Many times, our suffering isn't from the event itself, but from our mind's reaction. We add to our own distress. The first arrow is inevitable. Sickness, loss, discomfort, these are simply parts of being alive, beyond our control. But then comes the second arrow. This is the story we tell ourselves, the anger, fear, or regret we add. It's the mind's resistance, the why me, or this shouldn't be happening. This second arrow is optional. Recognizing this second arrow is powerful. It reveals that much of our suffering is a choice, a habit of mind. We cannot avoid the first arrow, but we can choose not to pick up the second. Let go of the added mental burden. Observe your thoughts without judgment. See the second arrow for what it is, a creation of your own mind, not reality. In this awareness, find true freedom. Embrace the present moment, free from the self-inflicted arrows of suffering. Peace awaits. Have you ever felt a deeper ache than the initial hurt? A persistent burden your mind creates long after the event. Buddha taught us about two arrows. The first is life's unavoidable pain, like illness or loss. It is simply part of being human. But then comes the second arrow, our reaction. The anger, the self-pity, the endless rumination that turns pain into deep suffering. This second arrow, unlike the first, we shoot ourselves. It's the story we tell, the judgment we cast, the resistance we build. When a loved one leaves, the pain is real. But the suffering comes from why me? Or I can't live without them. The wisdom lies in recognizing this second arrow. You have the power to choose not to shoot it, to release its grip. Practice observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment when pain arises. Notice the story, then gently let it go. This doesn't mean ignoring pain. It means transforming your relationship with it, refusing to add unnecessary layers of distress. When you stop shooting the second arrow, you find a profound peace. You experience life's pain, yet you do not suffer from it. Begin today. Observe your mind's reactions to discomfort. Choose not to shoot that second arrow. Find your freedom. We often confuse pain with suffering. Pain is a part of life, like a storm passing through. But suffering, that's often something we add. Imagine life's first arrow, an illness, a loss, a harsh word. It's the inevitable ache, the physical or emotional sting that touches us. Then comes the second arrow. This is our mind's reaction, the anger, the why me, the self-pity. This second arrow creates our suffering. The first arrow is often unavoidable. But the second arrow, our mind's stories, the resistance we build, that's entirely optional. Our true choice. Observe your mind when pain arises. Do you blame, resist, or add anxiety and self-judgment? That's the second arrow flying. We often believe we are victims of circumstances. Yet, much deep suffering stems from how we internally respond to life's inevitable challenges. The practice is simple. When the first arrow strikes, just notice it. Acknowledge the pain without adding any mental reaction. Allow discomfort to simply be. Let it pass through you like clouds across the sky. No need to grasp, push away, or judge. By dropping the second arrow, we free ourselves. Pain might remain, but suffering dissolves, leaving space for a profound inner peace. This awareness is your secret to freedom. Practice noticing the second arrow, let it go, and abide in your quiet strength. Life inevitably brings moments of discomfort, loss, and physical pain. These are the unavoidable realities we all face. But beyond this initial pain lies a deeper layer of suffering. It's often self-created, not inherent to the moment. The Buddha taught us about two arrows. The first arrow is the physical or emotional pain itself, striking us unexpectedly. The second arrow is our reaction, the anger, frustration, self-pity, or worry we add to the initial wound. This second arrow is optional. We often shoot it ourselves, piling suffering upon an already painful experience. To find relief, simply recognize the second arrow. Notice your mind's reaction, without judgment or further entanglement. When pain arises, pause. Acknowledge the first arrow's sting, but refrain from adding mental anguish. Let go of the stories, the blame, the way me. Just allow the raw experience to be, as it is. In that space of non-reaction, you discover immediate relief. The burden of self-made suffering begins to dissolve. Remember, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. Choose awareness, choose freedom from the second arrow. Sometimes, suffering feels all-consuming. But what if much of it isn't inevitable? What if we unknowingly create our own deepest pain? The Buddha spoke of two arrows. The first is life's inevitable pain, loss, illness, disappointment. This initial arrow, we cannot truly avoid. A physical injury, a harsh word, the passing of a loved one, these are the first arrows. They bring discomfort, sorrow, or physical sensation. Then comes the second arrow. This is the one we shoot ourselves, our reaction to the first. You stub your toe, first arrow. The pain is real. Then your mind says, "I'm so clumsy. Why me?" That second arrow adds unnecessary suffering, or you receive criticism, first arrow. It might sting. But then you replay it, feel shame, blame yourself. That's the second arrow taking hold. The key is to notice. Can you feel the first arrow, the raw sensation or emotion, without immediately reaching for the second? This isn't denying pain, but refusing to amplify it. When the first arrow strikes, pause. Take a breath. The relief is immediate. By not shooting the second arrow, you stop the cycle of self-inflicted suffering. This awareness is liberation. Practice recognizing the two arrows moment by moment. Choose not to add unnecessary suffering. Find true peace right here, right now. We often mistake pain for suffering. Pain is inevitable in life, a natural part of existence. But suffering, that's a different story. The Buddha taught us that suffering is often our reaction to pain, not the pain itself. It's like being hit by a second arrow. The first arrow is the physical or emotional pain itself, the loss, the illness, the disappointment. That's unavoidable. The second arrow is our mental and emotional reaction, the anger, the self-pity, the rumination, the fear. That's where suffering truly begins. This second arrow is optional. We have the power to choose how we respond to the first arrow, to pain. This is true freedom. To stop the second arrow, we simply observe our reactions without judgment. Notice the anger, the fear, and let them pass. We don't fight the feelings, we simply acknowledge them. Ah, there is anger. Ah, there is sadness. Then, we breathe. This simple act of mindful awareness disarms the second arrow. It allows the pain to be just pain, without the added layer of suffering. You'll find immediate relief, a sense of spaciousness and peace, even amidst life's inevitable challenges. This is true inner freedom. Remember, the first arrow may strike, but the second arrow is always a choice. Choose wisdom, choose peace. Begin this practice today. Often, we experience pain, physical aches, loss, disappointment. But what if much of our suffering isn't the pain itself? What if our minds, through worry, regret, or anger, add a second layer of distress, a hidden cause of deeper pain? The Buddha taught about two arrows. The first arrow is unavoidable sickness, aging, death, or simply a difficult moment. But then, we often shoot ourselves with a second arrow. Our reaction to the pain, the why me, the resistance, the judgment. This second arrow is not the initial hurt, but the story we tell ourselves about it. It's the suffering we create. Notice when your mind adds layers of worry or frustration to simple pain. That's the second arrow striking again. To find relief, simply observe this second arrow. Acknowledge its presence without judgment. Don't engage with its story. When you refuse to shoot the second arrow, the initial pain might still be there, but the added suffering dissolves. Imagine living with only the first arrow. Pain is present, but your mind is clear, free from self-inflicted torment. Begin today. Notice the second arrow. With awareness, you can choose not to shoot it, finding profound peace. We all experience pain. A physical ache, a loss, a disappointment. It's an unavoidable part of human existence, a fundamental truth. Yet often, our suffering isn't the pain itself, but our reaction to it. The mind's struggle, resistance, and narrative create a deeper wound. The Buddha taught of two arrows. The first arrow is the pain itself, unavoidable, piercing. A physical injury, a harsh word, a loss. The second arrow is our mind's reaction, the anger, self-pity, rumination, or blame. This second arrow is what truly causes our suffering. We cannot avoid the first arrow, but we can choose not to shoot the second. It's a choice to stop adding layers of mental anguish. The practice is simply to notice. When pain arises, observe your mind's immediate reaction. Is there a second arrow being formed? Simply acknowledge its presence without judgment. Don't fight it, don't feed it. Just see it for what it is, a mental fabrication. When you simply witness the second arrow, it loses its power. It cannot exist without your mental energy to sustain it. It simply dissolves. In that space of non-reaction, you find profound peace. Pain may still be present, but the suffering, the mental anguish, has vanished. May you find the wisdom to discern the two arrows, and the courage to release the second, living with greater ease and inner freedom. Life often brings us pain, a loss, an illness, a setback. This initial sting is unavoidable for everyone. But then, our mind adds another layer: worry, anger, self-pity. This is where true suffering begins. Buddha called this the second arrow. The first arrow is the pain itself. The second is our reaction to it. Imagine a wound. The physical pain is real. But if you constantly poke it with your thoughts, you deepen the suffering. We cannot avoid the first arrow, but we can choose not to shoot the second. This is our true power. When pain arises, simply acknowledge it without judgment. Observe the feeling, let it be just as it is. Don't cling to the story of the pain, or the why me. Just breathe through the raw sensation, releasing attachment. Allow thoughts and emotions to pass like clouds. You are the sky, unchanging and vast, always present. By refusing the second arrow, you free yourself from needless struggle. You find peace amidst life's challenges. Practice this awareness today. Let the first arrow be, but never invite the second. Find your inner stillness. We all experience pain, a natural part of being alive. Yet, much of our suffering is often self-created. This isn't about blaming ourselves, but about understanding the mind's subtle habits that create our inner turmoil. Imagine the first arrow, the pain of loss, illness, or disappointment. This is life's unavoidable truth. Then comes the second arrow, our mental reaction, the anger, resistance, or rumination that follows the initial pain. This second arrow is often more painful than the first. It's the story we tell ourselves about the pain. The good news is, while the first arrow is inevitable, the second arrow, the suffering, is completely optional. The path to freedom begins with awareness. When pain arises, notice the second arrow, the mind's reaction. Simply observe it, without judgment, without engagement. Watch it arise, linger, and gently fade away. In that gentle observation, the second arrow loses its power. What remains is the simple, raw experience of life. Practice this awareness. Find true freedom from self-made suffering, and discover profound peace in every moment. Do you ever feel a quiet ache? A burden not from the world, but from within your own mind? This isn't the natural pain of life, but something we often unknowingly create for ourselves. The Buddha taught of two arrows: the first, inevitable pain; the second, our reaction to it. The first arrow is simply what happens: loss, sickness, discomfort. It's a part of being alive. But the second arrow is our mind's story, the judgment, the resistance, the why me? This second arrow is where true suffering takes root, not in the event itself, but in our response. To release this suffering, we must learn to recognize that second arrow as it flies. Observe the pain, but let go of the story, the anger, the fear clinging to it. When we stop shooting the second arrow, a profound peace emerges, untouched by life's inevitable pains. May you find the wisdom to discern the arrows, and the courage to only endure the first. Life inevitably brings pain, like a first arrow. But much of our deepest anguish arises from how we react to it. The mind, with its judgments and resistance, shoots a second arrow. This mental reaction transforms pain into prolonged suffering. True liberation comes from recognizing this second arrow. Choose not to shoot it, and find profound, immediate relief.